Hey, hi guys, hey, my name is Lonnie Fulford, Outfitters Outdoors. And guys, I've had a lot of questions recent about our trot line, how we make them and how we deploy them. And I've got a list of questions here. And one of the ones that we had was, how do we keep them organized? And I want to show you, just like this. This is a small trot line. Here in Iowa, we can only have up to 15 hooks per trot line on a sportsman's license. And this is how I do it, is we just put them in a bucket. And it's been in there since last year. It's hopefully we're going to be able to get to do some fishing yet tomorrow. With all these floods again, guys, we're in the middle of another 100-year flood. We had one of those last year. But here, this is how we do it. And we have the float that I've always talked about. And when we get ready, we'll go ahead and put a carabiner on there. And it comes out just like this. Now, this is one of those big octopus hooks. I would prefer it to be a little offset, but that's what I bought. And how we, another individual wanted to know how we tied our lines on. And simply, we just take this line here, put it through, tie a knot, and bring it around. I believe I have that on how to make the trot line. There was another question about what size we use, and I really don't have the exact size, but I'll tell you my thinking behind that is that this is it's sizable, and the reason I use the larger one is that if you have small nylon for your main, that's an awful lot of a small amount of line on your fingers. And the bigger the main line is, the more friction that you have and you're able to control it. It's amazing how much pressure a 10-pound carp can have, or a 10 or 15-pound flathead can strain your fingers. And using the larger one, it won't cut into your skin quite as easily if it was just a small line. I had other questions about do we put swivels on? And we do. This one here is one of my favorite hooks. It's a circle hook, but it's offset. And actually, the last time we had this line out, we had a fish big enough on it that it actually broke the hook. Good thing I wasn't filming it. I didn't look particularly good on that particular moment. And then we covered the organization. This is how we keep them organized. Another question was, do we remove the hooks from year to year or after the use? And the word is no, we don't. Mainly because we can able to keep them secure in its own little basket here on the bucket. This here's another, not even a 15 hooker. This one here we was using to catch big flatheads, and it did pretty good. So I also want to talk to you a little bit about not just the trot lines and answer some of those questions, and that is how we deploy them. Now guys, we did this video last year, and this is our junk box. I have a whole video that we're going to upload on its how to make this, and I want to show you real quickly how, keeping this thing organized, you can deploy them. Now, off the camera, the bucket is down here, and now this is one that we use to catch big honking flatheads. As you see, it's got a three-way swivel, and when you're going after something that may have the potential of weighing 50 pounds or more, you want the ability for that fish to move around. Now, when I'm loading this, in the other video, we go to a lot more time to show you and why I use this. And let's go ahead and load about 10 hooks, and I'll show you how easy this is to deploy. Now here's my favorite hook that I use, even for rod and reel, and this is a wide gap hook, offset, and boy, it does a nice job. Now, when you go to build yours, you may use one that's thick or not. I've been noticing that perhaps I might want to change to a one that is as thick as this, but also I'm able to, when I put this in, how far I want to put this in. And boy, I tell you what, guys, it works really good. If you could see all the fish scales and debris here on this box, the jump box, you would say we've had this in use for a long time. But this is one that we did for a video for you guys. Now, as you see, that all of my swivels is not down in here. Now, this is a little longer for flatheads, so I could even leave it like that. And for live bait, of course, you would probably want it to cure that, but most of the time when I use live bait, it's only on a 1 or 2 hook bank line. So let's go ahead and show you. The one guy asked about keeping it organized and becoming a absolute tangled mess. Boy, I tell you what, guys, he sure is right that it does have the potential of being a tangled mess. But we've been doing this a long time. A lot of the technology that I'm giving to you guys is over 100 years old. Back then they didn't have nylon, but we used nylon. The size of your staging that you're going to tie your hook on is probably more important to keep in mind. Is that it's the size of the hook eyelet, and if you got a hook that's got a narrow small hole, you can't use such a big main or staging line because you couldn't get it through that hook. So that would be your number one thing when you go to build one. Keep in mind, before you buy your line, you buy your hooks, then get the line that will fit through there. And go a couple, 3 sizes bigger for your main line. Like I said, when we go to fish for flatheads this year, we're going to use parachute cord, and as far as on the main line. So let's go ahead and show you how this thing will deploy and how easy it is. So now, I have limited vision in one eye, so I have some depth perception. So when even though that I still like to do some of this stuff, you have to adapt to what you have. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how fast this will deploy by not even coming close to these hooks. There you go, guys. It works great. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you that we added to after we made the video, made this box, is in the beginning I had this flat, and after we used it a few times, it appeared to me that it should be elevated a little more. So it's coming off of the platform isn't straight, but on an angle. And guys, I couldn't be more pleased with this. This is one of my better how-to things as far as being able to use the trot line. And most of the time I do this by myself, and it's just nice to be able to do this safely. Now there's another little video I'm going to do in just a little bit. It's a nice Saturday morning, and I'm going to show you why you don't want to tie your line off to something solid, like a tree root or something like that. Now, if you're in a river or in a creek that doesn't have a lot of current, you could probably get by with that. But the only thing is, when you tie this thing on solid, and let's say you have a couple of hooks that get tangled up, and you're fooling with it, this will start to stretch and stretch. Then all at once, when you're just about done and you flick it, every bait is gone. And I just learned that it's just a lot easier to tie off a float. I use a cement brick, a paving brick, weighs about 3.5 pounds. Guys, going back probably 100 years, using a paving brick, got a little road noise, I never had lost one. One guy seen that he was using like a 12-pound piece of cast iron. Jeez, I catch pretty big fish, and I never need anything like that. Yeah, I held fish traps during floods with nothing more than a cement block. So I think it's a little overkill. But I'm going to reset the cameras, and I'm going to show you why you do not want to tie this off the solid, because this thing will stretch. One day I was out with my dad, he wasn't paying attention to me, and I knew I had to drop that line, and I had 4 hooks go right through my hand, just lickety split. So don't learn the way I did. Put it on a rock or something not solid. If you do, you be sure you have somebody in there to help to roll or use electric toy motor or run your big motor. So there it is, guys. Keep them organized. We've answered some questions, and we've shown you our jump box. Now we're also going to add a jump box, how we build it, and the dimensions, all on its own very own video. So I sure do appreciate all you guys watching our videos, following our YouTube channel. Boy, I appreciate that, guys. And also I appreciate you going through our website to buy anything you need. And as you'll see on a link below, that we will have a link to our website. Our website is outfittersoutdoors.com. Also, that's our YouTube. And buy anything you need. Now, guys, in that website, there's over 100 million items that you can buy. And also, there's some other things on there too about how you can price check between Amazon and also on eBay. Boy, I tell you what, the sun's getting kind of bright, and it sure does feel good out here on a nippy Saturday morning. But guys, I'm going to sign off. I hope I've answered most of your questions, and I hope wherever you are, the fish are biting, and you're not in the middle of another 100-year flood. Damn. Later, guys.